Imagine stepping off the subway at Canal Street in 1958. The air thick with car exhaust, neon signs buzzing above fire escapes, vendors hawking hot dogs from corner cart. You smell sizzling meat, hear the clang of trolley tracks, and feel the thrum of 8 million lives colliding. This is New York City, and it is about to be remade. Enter Robert Moses, the master builder, with a vision carved from concrete and steel. He strides through City Hall like a colossus, wearing horn-rimmed glasses and a blueprint rolled under his arm. For him, progress means expressways, slicing through neighborhoods, grain highways connecting suburbs to Manhattan's glittering core. He promises that highways will rescue the city from congestion, that bulldozers will sweep away black, parks will bloom where tenement slums once festered. But as Moses draws lines on maps, another figure quietly observes her block. Jane Jacobs, a journalist and mother of 3, living on Hudson Street. She writes a weekly column about neighborhood gossip. But something in her gut says these highways will kill the very pulse of the city. She watches children playing stickball in the narrow street, old Italian shopkeepers greeting customers, and hears the song of daily life orchestrated by random encounters. When Moses sees slum, Jacob sees community. When Moses unveils his plan to carve the Lower Manhattan Expressway, demolishing 300 buildings, uprooting families, Jacob grabs a notebook and hits the pavement. She studies every stoop and street corner. No one cares about your project more than the people it will destroy. She writes, she organizes block meetings in dingy community halls, hands out leaflets in greasy diners, and challenges engineers to explain how steel overpasses will create vibrant streets. Soon the battle lines are drawn. On one side, the city's political machines, backed by budget-hungry planners eager to tame urban chaos. On the other, a ragtag army of mothers, small business owners, poets, and students, all armed with Jacob's scathing pamphlet, The Death and Life of Great American Cities. They pore over zoning ordinances, learn to read technical drawings, even masquerade as surveyors to enter closed sight. The tug-of-war crescendos in the packed city council hearing room. Moses arrives in a rumbling Cadillac. Jacob slips in wearing a red knitted cap. She doesn't shout slogans. Instead, she reads vivid street-by-street narratives about Miss Levine's Deli, where everyone knows your name, about kids who learn social skills on stoops, about how walls and highways will turn living streets into wastelands. Her words carry the texture of real life. They hum with human connection, and they win. In 1962, the expressway plan collapses under political pressure. The Lower Manhattan you know today, Greenwich Village's winding lanes, the Shiwi stools, the buzz of sidewalk cafes survive. Jacobs becomes a hero, a book, a Bible for urban activists worldwide. Moses, once untouchable, retreats to his island of bridges and parks, but never again dominates the city debate. Backlash sparks a revolution in human geography. Suddenly space is not just blank paper on a map. It is social, emotional, political. Every alleyway carries stories of power and resistance. Urban planners begin to ask, whose voices shape the city? What happens when we bulldoze lives in the name of progress? Jane Jacobs teaches us to see the city as a living organism, an intricate mesh of sidewalks, street lamps, gossip, routines, economies, and dreams. Fast forward to today, in Rio de Janeiro, favelas cling to steep hillsides. Informal economies and tight-knit support networks thriving despite decades of exclusion. In Mumbai, the Dharavi slum teems with micro-factories and street markets, creating a web of resilience Jacobs would have admired. In Tokyo, neon canyons pulse with late-night crowds who turn concrete into community with rituals of izakaya gatherings and after-work karaoke camaraderie. Each of these urban landscapes is a lesson in human geography, the study of how we shape places and how places shape us in return. When you walk the Red City, Pause to notice the street vendors, the murals on brick walls, the pattern of foot traffic tracing invisible social lines. Ask yourself, who built this street? Whose stories lie hidden in the crack? Whose power carved out that highway or preserved that park? As you begin your journey into human geography this semester, remember Jane Jacobs and Robert Moses locked in a duel over the heart of New York. Their story shows that maps are never neutral, that walls and roads are political, and that every street corner holds a drama worth unraveling. So, take your notebook, step into the next corner, be it in your hometown or half a world away, and start mapping the human stories beneath the asphalt. You'll discover that geography isn't just about mountains and rivers. It's about human lives etched into space, waiting for you to tell their tale.